It's not freezing? Oh. Did you turn the temperature up?
In the morning. But here?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
I can put it down.
No, you're good. You're good. You're here a few more hours than I am, so yeah. Oh, live from the madhouse. Wayne, you ready to crush it?
Yeah, the AC's not working.
Yeah.
It hasn't been working for like a week.
Well, like when it's between like 11 and 4 here, it just feels like it's always 70 degrees or 75 degrees in here. That's all. So, yeah, we're just chilling. We're going to leave here in about 20 minutes to head down to the 10K. If you guys were curious what do I do in the morning to prep for a 10K? You might be watching this being like, Professor, what do you do? Fuck yeah, Big Baccarat. What up, baby? So, a couple of the things that I do to prep in the morning. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Diego. But a couple of things that I do to prep. First thing I do when I get up is I do a meditation. And that relaxes me, gets me focused, makes me realize I am the master of my own destiny. Baccarat's coming here July 9th. All right. Well, with any dumb luck, if we run super, super deep, we will be here for July. Yep. Normally, I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to extending my time outside of Michigan in June or July, or away from my wife in June or July. However, I think running deep in a 10K Big O is good reason enough to stay late through July. But yeah, so the first thing I do is I do meditation, then I get up. I usually go outside, do some yoga. Sometimes I do yoga before meditation, but we do yoga. Then sometimes I'll hop in the pool, like 90% of the time, pool, jacuzzi. I appreciate it, Big Baccarat. I'm hoping we can win it. Now, obviously, we can't win it on day one. You can't win a multi-day tournament on day one, but you can certainly lose it. That's for sure. I honestly think I have the biggest advantage out of the whole field. Obviously, there's going to be some good players in a 10K, and there's going to be some tight players, but I don't believe, even with the pros and the high rollers, I don't believe that they have an advantage over me. I think it's the other way around. I honestly believe I have the advantage in this situation. I appreciate that, Andy. If anybody could win it on day one, it would be me. Yeah, I played the milestone last night, and the milestone was there. I've played 3 milestones so far, cashed in 1. And if you're coming to Vegas and you're like, Professor, what's a good way to profit? I'm into mixed games, I'm into PLO, but I don't want to like spend 12 hours a day playing a tournament for that, but I like tournament structure. I would say play every milestone. Don't even play cash, because you play a milestone for $1,100, you can take the 10K every time. And they have them, I believe, daily. Like, it's an opportunity to look at, but it's a little challenging because you have so much going on and you have so many tournaments everywhere that you have so much selection. I think it's really important if you're coming to Vegas for the series, and I know we're almost halfway through the series, or a third of the way through the series, whatever, third of the way. If you're coming to Vegas, you really have to find the niche that works well with you. Instead of being like, I want to play all these different tournaments, because then you're just going to be like, oh, I busted out of this tournament. Maybe I should go fire this one. Like, I remember last year, I busted out of the Venetian, drove down to, I think maybe it was an MGM, maybe it was like the Bellagio, or maybe this was a few years ago. I busted out of like the Venetian, and then I went to, I thought it was MGM, played, or maybe it was the Orleans and played, and then I went back to the Venetian just to max late reg the original tournament that I bought out of. And that's just bad. I mean, first of all, you're wasting all that time traveling back and forth. Secondly, you could just fire a second bullet in the tournament that you were initially playing in. Things like that. So these are things that I've learned in the past during the series that you just need to make a decision and fucking stick with it. It doesn't matter what anybody says, what anybody thinks. When you make that decision, this is the tournament I'm going to play, you need to focus in on that tournament and do the best that you can. So, yeah. Yesterday I focused on the satellite, focused on 200, 400. That was a little bit of a different experience. I think after probably the first 20 minutes, I felt pretty comfortable. Like, it was funny though, because after 20 or 30 minutes, I was down like $1,500, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I didn't even play that many hands. I played like maybe 2 hands, maybe. And I was like, I'm already down 1,500. I'm like, fucking 2-4 really has some swings in ya. And I felt really comfortable though. I felt incredibly comfortable. I mean, it's a limit game, and I even said to myself, 1,500, that's really only 4 big bets. And managed to book a win there. And we're hoping that we can make a deep run here, so that way we can just play the 2-4 daily. Because I think I'm going to try leaning towards playing the 2-4 a lot more often. It's like the first year when I started playing 5,100 and I realized, oh, I can sit down and play 5,100 for 3 hours and win $2 to $4 grand. And of course you can lose that real quick too. But when you realize that there's plenty of recreational players at the higher stakes, sometimes it behooves you to move up in the stakes. Igor went 95th, 63rd, 46th, and 1st. Just follow that path and get better than 15th. I'm working on that, Andy. You know, and here's what I'll tell you. I completely punted in the double board bomb pot. Like, yours truly drawing dead on one fucking board, putting in all of his fucking chips, shows you that we're all human. We all make mistakes. Even the fucking guy who isn't supposed to be making mistakes makes mistakes. Tournament fatigue kicks in, other factors kick in. You get in your mind game and your head game, and you know, I think the thing that I'm starting to understand, some of these deeper runs in tournaments that I think separates people from the super deep runs, is getting out of the mindset of like being caught up in whatever it is you're caught up in the hand. Like, there was a hand, for example, last night. I think it was King 4-5 double suited, King X 4-5, or maybe it was Queen. No, it was Deuce 3. That's what it was. It was like King Deuce 3 double suited. I opened for like 2.4 big blinds. Now keep in mind, this is just a satellite, but I get 3-bet and I just folded. I was like, it's always aces. It's always aces. I don't need to get in the mindset of, you know, playing tournaments is just a little different, because it's the mindset of, I might be getting the right odds, but as late as it is in the tournament, it's more positive EV and ICM implications to fold, to save. Like, if you open up for 2.5x, 2.5 big blinds, and somebody pots it, and they're making it 9 big blinds, you have to understand, that's 6.5 big blinds. Think about how many orbits that is. That's literally 2 to 3 orbits. 2 to 3 orbits is literally 40 to 60 minutes of play. Okay? 40 to 60 minutes to play. I'll answer all your questions here in just a second. But 40 to 60 minutes of play will literally take out 10 to 15% of the field in a lot of cases, in day twos. So when you open for 2.5x and somebody makes it 9x and you're debating on calling, instead of being like, well, I'm getting the right odds, think about, I am going to make an instant decision that is equivalent of 40 to 60 minutes worth of seeing cards. I think that might be the difference, you know? And in order for you to call there late stage in a tournament, how much equity you have to have in your hand for 40 minutes worth of decisions. I mean, That's a lot when you really start thinking about it. Tell us about the big O in 2021 that you shipped. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you about the biggest, the hand that essentially sealed the tournament for me. Is it was 6-6, ace 3-4. I'm second in chips, chip leaders at the table. We're down to 15 players or 16 players. We just got down to 2 tables. And biggest chip stack opens. I'm in the big blind, 6-6, ace 3-4. I call. I just flat. Flop is the beautiful deuce, deuce, 6. I end up checking because I know he's got a deuce. He should. He bets. I call. Turn is I believe it was a 4 or 5. Could have been a 3. No, turn is a 3. That's what it was. Turn was a 3. I check. He bets. I call. Completely 100% slow playing it. This is a conversation I had with Wayne earlier that anytime, and I'm going to finish the story here in a second, but anytime you're in a tournament and you're deep in a tournament, you want to be pushing the action. You don't want to be calling unless you're setting up a trap. And so the river comes out a brick. There's $171,000 in the pot. He's like 1.5 million deep. I'm like 1.3 million deep. I lead for full pot, 171,000, because I know if he has deuce 4 or deuce 3 or deuce 6 with a low, he's going to rip it. I have the nut full house with the nut low. I make it 171 pot. He pots it into me. I'm telling you, when he did that, I stopped and I said, did he just say pot? And you know if a player says, did he just say pot? Your fucking goose is cooked, right? Or like, oh, did he just say all in? Oh. So he says pot. I go, I'm going to go all in. And then the guy was like, I call. He just snap calls. He had deuce 4 or deuce 3 for the bottom full house with ace 5. He literally had second nut low and like one of the best full houses you can end up in that situation. And yeah, I had nut low with 6s full. And that was a key moment right there. Yeah, so that was the key right there. Dang your shirt. Yeah, so these are Robert Graham's. I don't get paid to endorse them. I love these. These are limited edition shirts. They only made like 500 of these. This is an Avenger shirt. So that's where you get those, is Robert Graham. Exactly land, get broke, and debt good advice. Not really sure what you're asking for. If you're asking for good advice on playing poker professionally, stay away from sports, stay away from baccarat, stay away from hookers, and stay away from cocaine. I'm not sure what the order is, but whatever order you prefer, stay away from that one first. Word of advice. Also, this year, I have particularly been really hardcore focused on keeping my mind, my body, and my spirit all aligned. And the one thing I've been lacking probably the most in that, as you guys know, Daddy likes to eat, is the body. So even after winning the 10K satellite last night, I said to Wayne, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe it was like 2:20 by the time we got out of Paris. I said, yeah, maybe we could go by the Reef, man. Go get some really good weed, hit a few, relax. And then when we got in the car, I said, you know what? Let's just go home. I need to keep my mind and my body and my soul all aligned. I know that sounds weird, but if you listen to Daniel Cates or Jungle Man, who I'm supposed to have a meetup game with, if you listen to Phil Gaffon, if you listen to Sean Deeb, if you listen to all of these crushers, they all tell you that like aligning everything, like meditation, cold plunges, focusing, realigning yourself, like these are all fucking common characteristics of tournament crushers. I mean, for crying out loud, if you want to like be the best golf player, you want to study the people who play in the PGA. If you want to be the best tournament crusher, you want to study the best fucking tournament crushers and find out what they do. Earlier this month, or in May, there was a $3,000 school session, and I even talked to Joey Ingram about this, and I was debating on doing it. We were sitting outside the Venetian. I was smoking a big doob. I can't remember if he smokes, but I was smoking a big doob, and I was like, should I do this? And Joey says, you know, Phil was my coach, and he's probably the best coach in the industry. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, immediately, I was interested just hiring Phil Gaffon as a coach. And I haven't yet. And he said I really should go do that $3,000 thing. And I just decided I didn't want to do it yet. Even though there was a lot of things, like I talked to a few people who were there about Wim Hof breathing and things like that, and they brought in a shaman, all sorts of shit. I felt like I was trying to align my mind, body, and soul enough on my own. Not that I don't need help with it, but I felt that it would be a more impressive learning experience if I learn it on myself versus learning it from others. And even though the $3,000 would be valuable because you get a weekly phone call from Phil Gaffon and a coaching session, if I go really deep, which I plan on, I'll probably just hire Phil as a coach just fucking outright. Even if it's only for like 3 or 4 sessions, you know? So I don't know, maybe 5 sessions. I think he does like a 5-session package for like $3 or $4 grand. I don't know how. I had somebody who said that they took one of his courses recently, and I've gotten mixed reviews. But early on, you know, like Joey Ingram said, you can't get any better. I don't know. I coach people a lot, so I'm also curious how he does some coaching as well. A big Baccarat 600 Big O Championship at the Orleans. When is that? I haven't looked at the schedule. Right now, I'm just hyper-focused on the 10K. But yes, one of the biggest things about playing poker, getting back to that, is about like going broke and stuff or trying to manage it, is managing good bankroll management. Some of the best poker players in the world, I personally know, are broke. And they're fucking amazing poker players, and they just have really shitty bankroll management. Like, they'll, like I said, hookers, cocaine, like table games, baccarat, stuff like that, sports betting. They usually have one of those vices. If not all 4, correct, Sean. You know, and I even think about like one of my best friends who used to play poker, who I consider an amazing poker player, but he doesn't anymore because he has too many of those vices. Kingsley. Is Kingsley? Yeah, absolutely, fucking Kingsley, man. No, you're good. I love Kingsley, man, but like seriously, he's like one of the best fucking guys that just knows the situation, reads it perfectly, but then. He's done with all of his addictions, so thank God for that. I hope he doesn't come back to poker, because if he ever got into any of those addictions, it would kill him. Mid-July. Mid-July, bro. Well, hopefully I'm here mid-July, because that means I'm running fucking deep. So 10K WSOP, hell yeah, let's go. Now, here's one thing I will say, Yuri Slavasak. I hope I didn't butcher your name like a true degen. I will tell you, 2 days ago I was watching a couple of shorts that Jungle Man put out, and he was talking about like his first couple years in poker and how whatever he won, he just fucking threw it back in and spun it. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, I've got a big enough bankroll, but like after watching that, I was like, you know what, fuck it, why not? Why not go play some 200, 400? Why not? I said to myself, even after buying into the satellite, I said, if I don't fucking bank this and get a 10K ticket, I am going to fucking direct buy. And I even told my wife, I said, I'm playing 200, 400 today, which is a bigger game than I'm used to playing. And I'm fucking playing the satellite. And I said, I want you to know, if I don't get a ticket, I'm buying directly. And I said, and if I am buying directly, then I'm selling action. I said, so if you see me post on Facebook, hey, everybody, I'm selling action, you'll know I'm selling action. I am pleased to announce that I haven't sold any action. I swapped a little bit of action with 2 guys that are Big O crushers when we were in the satellite, because I figured, why not? It kind of lowers the variance a little bit. So they do have 5% of me. So I only have 80% of myself going in today. But here's the other thing I'm going to tell you right now. I bet you I have more of myself than fucking 75% of the players. I bet you I do. And my bankroll isn't fucking millions of dollars, and I'm not used to playing high roll. But here's the best part about all of this that all of you should know, and I recognize it. When I walk into the room, They might not have played with me because I'm not a high roller, but I already know that they know who I am. They sense it and they fear me.
What's my name?
They fucking fear me. That's right. The high rollers and Big O, I think, understand that I understand the fucking game better than probably anybody else. Maybe not anybody else. I'm sure there's got to be a couple people out there, but if you said, do I feel like I'm the top 5 or 10 best Big O players in the world? I would say top 10. I would make an argument even more than that, but now it's time to fucking prove it. Now it's time to fucking prove it.
Are you good going with Wayne in 15 minutes? Sorry.
Huh?
Are you good going with Wayne in 15 minutes?
Yeah, I'm going with Wayne and
Okay.
when
You were
Wayne's
just
ready.
worried that you wanted to get there a little earlier, so.
No. I mean, it starts at 2. I like to get there a little bit early and then like just get in the zone, walk
Okay.
around, get
You
the
said
feeling.
In about 2:15, so.
In about 15 minutes?
2:15 to 2:20, he's in the shower now, so as soon as he's done.
Well, 1:15.
Or 1:15.
Yeah, I'm like, holy
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah, sorry.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Later.
All right, they'll underfold versus you. All right. Negreanu is playing Limit Hold'em. Yeah, I heard the 10K Limit Hold'em only had like 116 entrants. I saw Alan Kessler posted something about this. But yeah, it's but yeah, when I was watching this thing from Jungleman, I decided, fuck it. You know, I was up before yesterday, I was up like 17, 18K for the trip. And then won a couple thousand in 2040 or 200, 400, pardon me. And then yeah, so won that, and yeah, I don't know. I just figured, fuck it. Like, you're here. It's for the series. There's more Rex here, and I think well, we appreciate it. WWE, have a good day as well. But we appreciate that. But I think there's just as many Rex, like in the higher stakes games. It maybe even more than in the medium stakes games. Like 5-5-10 Big O, pure rocks. Lots of rocks. 1-2-5 Big O, really good juicy action. Maybe like the 5-10-25 Big O, when they started that up the other day, they were like, "Hey Josh, we got a seat open," and I looked over and I shit you not, there was 4 fucking nits at the table and there were 5-handed. I was like, why the fuck do I want to play that game? Like, I'd rather sit here at 1-2 Big O where they don't completely understand the game. Usually 10-25 players will understand the game a little bit better. Some of them just like to gamble, but yeah, there are plenty of rec players here. And I think part of the key is finding that group of rec players in a game that you excel at and just fucking pushing down on the button. But also, like I was talking to Wayne about just firing milestones. Like if you're coming to Vegas, study all the mixed games, study all the stuff, and just fire milestones, man. Like, they're surprisingly soft. Like, the amount of egregious plays that I saw people making were just, like, the blinds were 100, 100, and when somebody's betting 3,000, again, you start going, that's 30 big blinds. Bro. Like, what the fuck? That's a lot. You know, I'm starting to just look at everything in form of big blinds, big blinds, big blinds, big blinds, big blinds. And even on the internet, I never hit the big blind button. I always hit the chip button, but I shouldn't say never. I do. I flip back and forth. But I think in live, you just have to focus on big blinds. And when you make a decision, how many chips does that decision cause you in terms of time? Because really, tournaments are like a chess match. And sometimes you're just battling with time. So I feel like I'm in the zone. I'm very aware of everything that's going on. I'm focused. I'm getting my mind, my body, and my soul all aligned. Like, normally on poker trips, I lose weight because we have a personal chef here. Not really losing any weight. But I tell you what, doing yoga every day helps. Doing meditation every day, that helps. I am the master of my own reality. I am the creator of this reality. This is mine, according to me. I know that sounds weird, but when you meditate and you start realizing this reality is my reality, which is completely different than somebody else's, but I am in control of my reality. Hopefully the card gods will be with me today, because this is, I get goosebumps thinking about this tournament. I mean, legitimately. I think my biggest win was like 50K, 53 and change. So 15K felt good, but it also felt like a kick in the nuts. Do I expect the field to thin out fast because of the 5-card format? First of all, I appreciate the question. I always appreciate questions. I do feel like, you know, by day 2, you lose about a third of the field because you start off with 60,000 in chips. You have 1-hour levels on day 1. You have 2-hour levels on day 2. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate you, brother. I really do. And I feel like when you get to day 2, the field thins out a little bit faster. And, you know, I was talking with Danny Chang, who is a pro, also like a